Welcome to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia Defazio, joined today by Kevin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. To our viewers at home, when you're thinking about retirement planning, are you thinking about packing for a trip? Well, think about that for just a moment. When you know that you're going somewhere, obviously you go to your closet, you go to your drawers, you start pulling out everything, and you put them on your bed. If we're not careful with what we choose to pack for our trip, think about that. Either you get to your destination with either too much, or you get to your destination with not enough. The goal is to make sure that you pack properly for your trip, but also, most importantly about today's show, how to plan properly for your retirement. We're going to break it down piece by piece, what should go in your retirement suitcase. Thank you for being with us. Joe, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. Kevin, how are you?
Fabulous. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Thank you. And gentlemen, I have to ask you, when you're packing for a trip, have you ever gotten to the destination where you have everything you need? Like everything, like didn't miss a thing?
Well, are we an underpacker or an overpacker, right? I mean, nobody gets it exactly perfect.
Overpacker.
I think I'm an overpacker as well. Yeah.
I am too.
Yeah. Our mother had a saying: "It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it."
Yes,
Yep.
It's true. I live by that. I love that.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking about getting life together financially and packing our financial suitcase, what does that really mean, Kevin? Or Joe, I should ask you first. As retirement gets closer, if I could put you in the hot seat for just a moment, what does getting my life together financially really mean as retirement gets closer?
Yeah, and we hear this quite a bit, where it's like, man, I really got to get my stuff together. I know it's coming, but I just don't feel like I'm ready.
Right.
It's not about perfection. There's no perfection. We hear people talk about, well, what's the right number? Have I saved X amount of dollars? You know, that's not what it is either. It's about establishing a plan that you can count on that's focused on your lifestyle needs, goals, your goals and objectives, not just some arbitrary number, right? But getting your quote unquote life together is, like I said, it's not about perfection. It's about clarity, understanding what you have, where you want to go.
Okay.
Right.
So, for example, and this is something that we experience quite a bit, okay? George and Ruth came into our office, okay? And Ruth didn't work. She raised 4 beautiful children, right? They're launching the last one. They're launching the last one. And George, he worked 30 years for the same company. And they've done a great job. They've been disciplined. They got $1.5 million sitting in the bank, right?
Okay.
And here's the question. Now what?
Right.
What do I do with it? You know what I mean? Like I followed the rules. I've been disciplined. I've done a good job, and he has. They've done great. But taking the next step is where the confusion comes from. So, getting your life together is about clarity. Okay, here's what we have. Here's what we can work with. Well, that's only part of the equation. Is where do we want to go? What do we want our retirement to look like? And then we can set a plan together.
Yeah.
Yes. And so are you taking in different income sources? I am so
Yeah, so understanding income sources, savings, debt, priorities, goals. We talk about all the time, like, what's your goals? What's your dreams in retirement? Joe mentions it all the time. I love the saying. He says, you have to retire to something, not from something.
Yes. So
I think that's important. That's the mindset shift we talked about a couple episodes ago.
Absolutely.
Is that structure brings calm. I think that's key to understand that.
Most definitely. Kevin, I want to ask you, why do so many people wait too long to take this kind of financial inventory? Yeah,
I think the biggest thing that we've seen from our experience is emotional barriers.
Okay.
Fear. I'm too busy to do this. Uncertainty. You know, like if I never really dig into this, I don't know how really I'm going to look at. I'm not sure if I'm going to run out of money or I'm going to have tons of money if I just don't even look at it. You know, that's uncertainty. I don't know.
I can't be behind if I don't.
So I might as well just put my head in the sand because I don't really want to know the answer. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's uncertainty, fear of that, and of course busyness. People are busy, but you know, what you're busy doing.
Right.
Right. So I mean, there's always priorities. We always make adjustments and clear out a couple hours of our schedule to get some of these things resolved. But emotional barriers is really, really key.
It's an acknowledgement that there's a change coming, and change is sometimes scary, you know? So, yeah, and like Kevin said, taking the time to be able to, you know, pull out all of those statements, take the time to put a budget together, understand what's going on, you know?
Yes.
what's my debt load? That's a big thing that we run into quite a bit. That people that are kind of putting it off, having some, no plan to deal with the debt prior to retirement can be a big hurdle.
I can't even imagine that.
So when someone calls into our office from this show, I encourage you to do that. Pick up the phone, call 1-888-959-2743, or click the QR code, book an appointment with us. You're going to get a first appointment packet through email or even in the mail, depending on how you want it. There's going to be a list of a questionnaire in there. Fill that out as completely as you can. That can be overwhelming because they don't know some of these things, and there's some uncertainty. They have to dig into their filing cabinets and pull out those statements and fill out their Social Security statements and all those things. But I'm going to encourage you that that's worth it. It's well worth it to take the time and do those things. Come in and see us so we can put a plan together for you.
Most definitely, Kevin. Thank you so much. Joe, let me ask you, what are the first practical steps that someone should take to assess their readiness for retirement? That is such a loaded question,
Yes.
but it's an important one.
Yeah. Well, Kevin touched on it just now.
He did.
Obviously. One of the best steps is to give us a call. There's another option. You can certainly give us a call. We would love to hear from you. There is a readiness quiz. So firstchoicequiz.com. You can go to that link, and that'll give you a list of questions that you can fill out. Takes a couple of minutes, and you're going to get some answers there as to how ready you are. That's a good next step. But more practically is what Kevin was saying, is take the time and pull out those documents.
Yes.
Right? Start gathering together. And if you have the first appointment packet from us, you're going to have a roadmap as to what all you're going to want and need to look at. The busyness hurdle. It doesn't have to all be done in an afternoon, right?
Right.
Take a couple
Yes,
of weeks
take time.
and start gathering it together, little by little, and you can do it. So those are great first steps.
When someone books an appointment, you'll get the email the same day. So if you book it 2 weeks out, you got 2 weeks to get that information together.
That's great.
So you should be able to plan some time to get that information together and list your accounts, benefits, expected expenses, and professional guidance is so important in this particular area of your life.
I can't imagine not going through retirement without professional guidance. That would be terrifying.
Right? I agree.
Absolutely. And that's the biggest reason why they should be calling. So give us a call, 888-959-2743. You'll speak with somebody. You'll be able to get onto our calendar. When you walk away from our meetings, you're going to have a complimentary, customized retirement plan that is specific to you.
Joe, thank you so much. Kevin, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen. That number is 888-959-2743, 888-959-2743. And what you're calling in for today, of course, is the complimentary consultation. Come into the office of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. Let Joe, Kevin, and the team get to know you one-on-one. Your goals, your dreams, your hopes for retirement. Best of all, have a plan to actually get there so that you have peace of mind. It's complimentary. There's no reason not to call in. 888-959-2743, or you can grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That QR code is actually the fast track to get in touch with First Choice Financial Services Incorporated, and you can schedule your time accordingly. When we come back from this very short commercial break, we're going to talk a little bit about the fact perhaps you're gathering all of your information now. You have what is known as the pile of stuff. Well, what happens next? How do you put that pile of stuff into a retirement plan? I know you're curious. Stay tuned. We'll have the answer for you next.
It's affecting everybody. Your wallet just doesn't seem to carry enough cash. And so for those who are living paycheck to paycheck, it's gotten so bad where they've had to buy their groceries on credit cards. And so we talk about inflation, and we talk about it as we build it into their plan. We want to make sure that we plan and provide money that they can add to their budget 5 years, 10 years, 15 years out. And it's there to offset the additional costs. And it's really tough when inflation is really out of control. When the government starts increasing the taxes, they start put different surcharges on things. Banks have to make different decisions. Are they paying out more interest? Are they paying out less interest? The big things that we spend our money on, grocery stores, fuel for your gas tank. Whoever thought it would cost $75 to fill a tank of gas? when it used to be $19, $20, $25, that's a huge impact on people. When inflation hits, I just say there's two types of inflation, because you have the inflation that they talk about on TV. Oh, it's 3% this year, it's 5% this year. Well, when gas goes from $2 to $3 a gallon, that's not 5%. When someone's buying meat for their table and it goes from $3.50 a pound to $7.50 a pound, that's not 5%. And so we have to deal with it from a realistic point of view. So if inflation is impacting what you're doing and you don't have an answer for it, give us a call.
Welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia Defazio, joined today by Kevin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. And if you're just joining us for the very first time, we're talking all about how retirement planning is a lot like packing your suitcase for a trip. You want to make sure that everything fits inside, but most importantly, you want to make sure that you have everything you need. Well, retirement planning is all about that, making sure that you have everything you need so that you can enjoy your retirement journey. So, Kevin, a very important question I have.
Sure.
Obviously, people right now, they're gathering all of their information, their pile of stuff, and what they're going to do is actually have a number in mind once they come to sit with the team. So how does a retirement plan go beyond just saving a certain dollar amount? Talk about that in depth.
Yeah, it definitely goes beyond just the number. And Joe mentioned this earlier, that if people do have a number in mind. If I can have X amount of dollars in my investments, then I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But it really goes back to planning around your lifestyle. What do you want to do? So we talk about dreams, your goals. And what we found from our experience is that people stop dreaming. They stop having goals because they're just working, they're just surviving. And so income timing, healthcare, taxes are all these key components, but dreaming, those are things you want to do. I want to go to Italy, or I want to go to see the Grand Canyon, or I want to take an RV across the country. Those are dreams, and we want to be able to establish the plan around those lifestyles. The income, the healthcare, taxes, those are all components, but that's just numbers. And so we want to establish our planning around the lifestyle that they want to have, and we'll plan around those components as well. Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense. I love that, because it's customizable then for each and every individual that comes into your office.
That's what makes it customizable.
Yes.
You're doing it around their lifestyle.
Yes.
Everyone wants something different.
Yes.
Some people don't want to travel at all, and that's
Yes.
okay. They want to stay at home and do nothing, and that's fine.
Yes.
So that's pretty easy for planning.
And sometimes people are shocked the fact that that number that they thought they had in mind is maybe not the number that they really need. Maybe it might
That's
be
true.
higher, maybe it might be lower, but usually we find that it's higher than what they really need.
Yeah,
Yep.
that makes perfect sense. Well, Joe, what about risk management? What role does risk management play when you're talking about retirement getting closer? That's probably a very important component.
Yeah, absolutely. As we approach our retirement date and we get into our red zone years, we need to address risk. It's super important to address risk. That's going to be key to our long-term success. But here's how we like to approach it, is that every dollar should have a purpose, right? And so that doesn't mean that we're going to give up on growth. It doesn't mean that we're going to stick our money under the mattress. But it does mean that we need to be smart and make smart decisions as to how we structure our investments and what risk we're taking on to meet our goals. It always comes back to that, to meet our goals. What is the goal that you have, and how do we get there? With the least amount of risk. Why take more risk to achieve the same goal than you need to, right?
Right.
And we find this all the time. So, just an example. So Kurt and Jill come in, right? And we're sitting down with Kurt and Jill, and Kurt kind of handles most of the finances. He does the DIY investing. He's doing all of those things and doing a good job. And they've had a long growth period, and so they could afford to be risky.
Okay.
Right? And Kurt's the aggressive one, right? So he's aggressive. Jill, not so much. She's conservative. And we start talking about where their actual accounts are, and she's biting her nails, and she's tense, right? We see this all the time, And so then we start talking about the goals, the objectives, and how we're going to get there. And then we start talking about risk, and we start making a specific plan, and the nail biting goes away, and she's walking out of the room, high as a kite. But we didn't give up on growth. But we do need to make sure that the plan beats both clients' needs, right? I mean, Mr. and Mrs. are going to be considered in the plan. So, we might have some aggressive growth, we might have some conservative, we might have some cash, we might have some guaranteed income. We're going to set a plan that's going to be more than just a big old number in your nest egg.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Well, Kevin, let me ask you this next question. How can people feel confident their plan will adapt to life changes in life?
Yeah, life changes happen.
Every
That's
day.
just part of it, and those are things that are sometimes out of our control, as we mentioned before. So regularly scheduled reviews, and flexibility, adaptability is very important. Planning for the unexpected is part of the process. So planning for the unexpected is part of our process. Planning for if, like I mentioned before on Social Security, if it gets dissolved, how do we replace that Social Security check?
Right.
When their spouse passes away, how do we replace that Social Security check or even pension check they may be receiving? So planning for the unexpected is very important. It gives them clarity, gives them confidence. Let me get you a story. We have Bill and Emily. They came to one of our workshops, and we put a plan together for them. And they're the couple that needed to buy a new truck unexpectedly. We talked about before.
Yes.
And so we had some Roth money coming in, and then some traditional money coming in, and they kept the same tax bracket. So a couple of years later, let's fast forward, I think it was last year, he calls me and says, Kevin, I want to buy a house in Myrtle Beach.
Okay.
I know I can't do it, but I still want to do it. I was like, well, Bill, you're talking yourself out of it already. Let's not do that, okay?
Right.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So let's look at some things. So we brought him in, did a review with him, looked at expenses, income, potential income coming forward, his 401k that he's got, investments he's got, all of that's wrapped into that review. And we were able to purchase his home in Myrtle Beach, which was out of his realm. I mean, he never even told me that goal. He never even told me that goal.
But apparently it was a lifelong dream, but it would never.
But in his mind, he was thinking, that's never going to happen, so why even bring it up?
Wow.
But then the opportunity arose that he's able to purchase something down there. And so we went through a couple scenarios and different, so I said, let's try this plan first. And this is the second plan that we're going to try if the first plan doesn't work. And so we went to the second plan, actually, and that worked. And so he was able to buy the Myrtle Beach home, so he spends a couple weekends a month down there in Myrtle Beach as he's still working. I mean, he's like 5 years away from retirement.
That's fantastic.
So that's how the plan can have confidence in it that we can adapt to these lifestyle changes.
And the importance of communication.
Communication is key.
Yep.
In every relationship, wouldn't you agree? Whether it be your spouse,
obviously,
your
yes.
children, your
Absolutely.
employer, communication is everything.
And we're talking about pre-retirement phase, which is important to get a chance to sit down and talk with somebody and set a plan up before it's too late. Not once you're 75 and you're already retired 10 years and we're kind of we're limited there, right? The pre-retirement phase is the perfect time to give us a call, sit down and talk about it, because now we can really start dreaming again, right? Mm-hmm. That's important. So give us a call, 888-959-2743, or use your smartphone and use the QR code on your screen. But give us a call. You're going to sit down with us, and when we're finished, you're going to walk away with a complimentary, customized retirement plan for you. And now, like I said, we're talking about pre-retirement. That doesn't mean that plan's never going to change. We're going to revisit it on an ongoing basis so that we can continue to pursue the retirement that you want.
Joe, thank you so much. Kevin, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, please become part of the family. Call in today, 888-959-2743, 888-959-2743. Book that complimentary consultation with the team of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. They want to listen to you. They want to get to know you. And you deserve to have the retirement of your dreams. So take advantage of the call today, 888-959-2743, or we've made it even simpler. We realize how busy you are, so you can grab your smartphone and just click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That's the best way to get in touch with First Choice Financial Services. When we come back, we're going to talk about designing that retirement plan so that you can have the retirement of your dreams. Stay tuned.
We've all seen the headlines. Celebrities passing away without a clear estate plan, leaving their families tangled in legal battles. Celebrities like Prince, Aretha Franklin, and Ted Williams have all made this mistake. But these issues don't just affect the rich and famous. Without a plan, your assets could be stuck in probate. costing your loved ones time and money and stress. Estate planning isn't just about avoiding mistakes, it's about making sure your legacy is protected. Don't leave your future to chance.
Hi, I'm Al Deitrich with First Choice Financial Services. Want to make smarter tax decisions and potentially save a lot of money? Our financial tax bill calculator can help you explore tax strategies tailored to your goals. Whether you're planning for retirement or looking to optimize your current finances, it's quick and easy to use. Just scan the QR code or visit taxfirst.net.
Welcome back to Mid-State Money Talk. My name is Cynthia Defazio, joined today by Kevin Deitrich and Joe Deitrich of First Choice Financial Services Incorporated. When we opened the show today, we talked about how financial planning for your retirement is a lot like packing your suitcase. You lay out everything you need on the bed, and then you fold it into your suitcase, and you're ready to go. Well, when you have the right retirement plan, you have peace of mind, just like getting to your destination and having everything you need for that journey. I just love this part of the show today because we get to put a bow on it right now. Yep. So I have to ask you, Joe, what does financial confidence look like in the first years of retirement? How does someone know that they can feel financial confidence?
That's great. Well, it's not by guessing,
right?
We don't want to guess. We want to know. We want to have a plan, particularly in those early years, because they're going to set us up for success or for failure. We talked about sequence of return risk earlier, but we want to have reliable income. We want to know the boundaries in which that we can work with, and sometimes discipline is freedom, right? Being able to understand where it is that we can and cannot do gives us the freedom to pursue the life that we want. So peace of mind, predictability, these are key factors. So having an income plan going into our retirement years, understanding what that baseline is, and knowing that our needs are going to be met. That is the key to that peace of mind. Let me give you an example. So,
please.
You ever hear the term long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs?
No.
Yeah, long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. Maybe that's a Pennsylvania.
It's a visual,
right?
but
yeah. Pretty nervous, right?
Right.
That's how I would describe Barbara. Right? She was about ready to retire, and she's the type of person that just wanted to work, right? If I wasn't working, if I didn't have income, I wasn't sure what was going on. But we had a plan in place. Now Bob, her husband, he's totally opposite. He's kind of the laid back guy, right?
Okay.
And we've been working with them for quite a bit. But 2 years ago, she retired. And that's how I would describe her, the 6 months before she retired. Even though we had a plan, she was still a bit nervous, right? Mm-hmm. And then what was great to see, though, is 6 months later, she's 6 months in, not so nervous. Right. 1 month or 1 year in, she's enjoying retirement, right? And now her focus isn't, well, I don't have income coming in. Yes, you do. We've already structured that with the plan. But now her focus is how much time she gets to spend with her grandkids and how they can help their adult children and give them a leg up in life. So her whole perspective changes.
Right. Yes.
Right. So the peace of mind, the predictability. When we set out a plan, this is our goal, is to see that transformation of our clients. We love seeing that.
Yes, absolutely.
Peace of mind.
Yep.
Well, Kevin, I have to ask you, talking about peace of mind, how can retirees avoid the fear of running out of money? That is the number one fear that people have. Well, until they call in and become your clients. But let's talk about that.
Yeah, it seems like an stated simplicity here as we're going through this. Income strategies, regular monitoring, having a proper plan in place, having an income stream that's going to meet those needs, the paychecks and the playchecks, setting realistic withdrawal expectations. And then sometimes we know those things change. We think that planning creates guardrails, not restrictions.
Yes.
So I think planning is really the key to all of this as we're talking about today, is to have that peace of mind, never running out of money, making sure that we have the proper planning in place. That will be the result of that, not running out of money.
Okay, again, peace of mind.
Peace
so,
of mind.
Joe, I have to ask you, what mindset shift help people truly enjoy retirement? What mindset shifts?
Yes. So there's definitely financial mindset shifts that we need to work on. We go from a paycheck, we go from kind of the employee, the monthly budget, to I'm using my savings to create income, right? This is a big deal. So thinking about money differently is a challenge, but it doesn't have to be scary. We'll help you guide you through it. give us a call. We'll talk through all of that. But when you see the new income plan, it should give you confidence.
Okay.
But there's beyond the financial portions of it, you know, and we talk about making sure that you are retiring to something. That's more than just the financial. That is, you know, where's my community? Where's my tribe, right? And what's my schedule going to look like? What are the habits and daily routines that I'm going to change into that are going to give me meaning and fulfillment?
Yes.
Where can I give back? Am I going to volunteer? Am I going to help with the grandkids? What is my life going to look like? Those are key. Those are super important to a happy and joyful retirement.
Most definitely. Is that where people should actually visit firstchoicequiz.com to make sure they feel ready, Joe?
Absolutely. If you're not certain, give us a call. Numbers on the screen, 888-959-2743. We'd love to sit down with you. An alternative is the firstchoicequiz.com, 1stchoicequiz.com. That'll be a good next step as well. You're going to ask you some questions and going to start you on that journey. But, you know, when it comes to the other items, when we talk about the Thrive and Try, those are things that we talk about and want to talk about on a regular basis with our clients.
Right.
Most definitely. So again, Kevin, it's coming down to proper planning, communication, and making sure that you have the right mindset as you enter retirement.
Absolutely. Yep. Don't forget, give us a call and set up that appointment to come in and sit down with us, put a plan together so you have clarity, confidence that you're going to be okay in retirement.
Most definitely. And Joe, how important is it for someone to have a second opinion if they're in the audience right now and they're leaning in thinking, should I call?
Yeah, particularly, all right, you're listening to us and you're going, you know what, I've never heard of that before, or my advisor hasn't talked to me about those items, or I haven't heard from an advisor and I don't know how. If there's some uncertainty, there's no reason for you not to pick up the phone and call us. That is exactly where you need to be.
Joe, thank you so much. And Kevin, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, just like you pack properly for your retirement vacation, if you will, you have to have peace of mind and the right mindset when it comes to that retirement plan. That number is 888-959-2743 to call in for your complimentary consultation, or we've made it even simpler. You can grab your smartphone and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. There's no obligation. It's completely complimentary to come into the office, and you will have that beautiful complimentary customized retirement plan drawn for you. Be safe, be happy, and be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Mid-State Money Talk. Take care.